right, hello, good morning. In my contemplation today, I would like to talk about palm oil. There's this story around the fact that palm oil was that the seedling for palm oil was taken from Nigeria by Malaysia, I think in the 70s, um, and taken to Malaysia to go and plant. And I was doing a program for GIZ, a training program in Edo State, and I brought the issue up. And a lady in the class was telling me he's very much aware of that story where they took it in Edo State, and he's been with the government delegation to Malaysia and saw it on the wall there that look, we pick seedling from Nigeria, and today we are one of the global buyers of palm oil. It might interest you to know that the global demand for palm oil in the world is about almost $60 billion. Global demand for palm oil in the world is about $60 billion. Palm oil is a product you should consider for export actually, because there is demand in different parts of the world. Maybe one of these days I'll talk about it, but my focus today is actually on the exporters. Do you know that about 80% of exporters of palm oil in the world are from two countries? And what is interesting is that one of these countries pick up their palm oil fruits, seedlings from Nigeria. You know, for me, this just demonstrates to me the potential opportunity Nigeria have, where we've been. So what that means is that if we have been there, that means we can still go there. We just have the right leadership to drive us there. Um, so when I talk about this, I am not pessimistic. I believe strongly. I can see the opportunity and I can see people taking advantage of the opportunity already. But I'm looking at it in the collective. I'm looking at the nation now that we have to have more exporters, because in Nigeria today we have very few exporters. I mean, imagine Nigeria having less than 1,500 exporters, with UK having over 100,000 exporters, US having over almost 300,000 exporters. Even in Africa, South Africa having a lot of exporters. So we need to create a lot of awareness, which is, even though we conduct on both import and export, I focus a lot talking about export because I feel to a large extent import, we've been doing it for many years, but we can do a lot on the export side. Let me come back to my topic. And the topic basically is the fact that two countries control 80% of global market, global export of palm oil. Who are these two countries? Indonesia, Malaysia. Indonesia, 50%. Remember, the total market demand is about 60 billion. So 50% will be about 30 billion. That means Indonesia is making $30 billion from exportation of palm oil. What did Nigeria make from crude oil last year? One country making this now. But let's go to Malaysia. Malaysia, remember, Malaysia pick up its seedling from Nigeria. Malaysia pick up its seedling from Nigeria to go and try out in Southeast Asia. But Malaysia control about 30% of global export of palm oil. 30% will be how much? That's $18 billion. Malaysia is making about $18 billion from one commodity, one commodity, one, one, one commodity. That's interesting to me because if they are making this much from one commodity, remember I told you about the program, the commodity of the future. If you have not watched the video, you can check the YouTube channel. The commodity of the future, one of the commodity of the future, which happen to be soya beans, and why I think soya beans is the commodity you look for in the future. Palm oil also will be one of them. And the reason why I say palm oil, one of them is because palm oil also is a biofuel. The palm fruit itself, or the beauty about palm oil is that palm kernel generally is that the tree, everything on it is useful. Everything, everything. I attended an inaugural lecture in Unilag some time ago, of a professor doing his doctoral lecture and he was talking about this tree. I mean, this was when I was in year one, like actually, many years ago. And do you know what? I was shocked at what is which what palm kernel tree, and so the all the parts can be used for different things, from the industrial usage of the palm oil itself and a lot of other stuff in the value chain. So palm oil, huge opportunity, and the beauty is that it's a tree crop. Being a tree crop means if I have a palm kernel plantation and then producing palm oil, and then I can grow the volume. And this is why government can invest in the project, like just the way we are think I mentioned about cocoa, we can do the same for these are palm trees and palm kernel. So they can be it's a project a country can take up. And Malaysia have led the way in this. How did Malaysia do this? You know, when a country know that look, we don't have crude oil, we want to be an oil giant, and we are focusing on commodity we have control. You know, the beauty is we can expect, unlike wasting asset of crude oil, wasting asset because it's depreciating. As we are taking out the gas, taking out the oil, is definitely depreciating. But for commodities, because it can be processed, if we have more land, we can extend and plant more and grow more and get improved variants, and then we can shoot up and increase our volume. So number one, we need to increase the level of palm kernel plantation being planted in Nigeria. We need more palm kernel plantation in Nigeria, and then more processing plant for palm oil in Nigeria. Now, let me now tell you what's interesting about Nigeria. You know, I'm sure you want to know. Okay, so if the market demand is 58 billion, about $60 billion, and Malaysia is about, I mean, Indonesia is about 50%, $30 billion, and Malaysia is about 30%, that's $18 billion. How much export is Nigeria? Nigeria, the country from which the seedling was taken out from. Nigeria, the country from which the seedling was taken out from. How about that? Nigerian export is less than 1% of global export. Nigerian export of palm oil is about $1.34 million. One, so our export is 0.009%. 0.009%. These are opportunities. Sincerely, it's an opportunity. The fact that we are here and these people take seedling from us, and over 40 years afterwards, look at where they are. Same we can do also, considering the fact that at that time the market was not so much. Nigeria was exporting palm oil at that time, and we're making a lot of money from palm oil. Nigeria, you know, we hear a lot about cocoa, but palm oil was one of the major exports, particularly from southeastern part of the country. So the issue now is that we need to begin to take a second look at palm oil. There is a need to take a second look at palm oil. There is a need to go back to the export of palm oil. There's a need to increase the production. There's a need to begin to increase the percentage. You are watching me right now. You can be part of the people that can take advantage of that. And what you can do is, maybe you want to farm, you want to consider palm kernel as something you want to farm, and you want to farm it on a large scale. And then in another 2-3 years, you then want to begin to process palm oil. Okomo oil is doing a lot in this regard, and a number of other palm oil plantation in Nigeria. But if we have now, if no matter who you think is exporting palm oil in Nigeria, as in no matter what you think about the volume of palm oil, Nigeria import palm oil, by the way. Nigeria import palm oil. Nigeria is importing palm oil. We export palm oil, we also import palm oil. So no matter who is producing palm oil in Nigeria today, be rest assured it's nothing compared to what the demand is. Because if all that we're producing, the only we can export because of demand, look at it, of course, is just about 0.09%. What that tells you basically is that there's a huge opportunity in palm oil exportation. It's something you should consider. In another video, I will talk about some of the market. In fact, if you want to learn about palm oil export, or you want to also know about the market, you can visit globaltradecollect.com. Globaltradecollect.com. In globaltradecollect.com, you'll be able to see the palm oil. We've done what we call the export hack for palm oil, so you'll be able to know some of the market you can consider when you are thinking of exporting palm oil. But to think that Nigeria exports contribute less than 1% of global market for palm oil, even when Malaysia pick their seedling from Nigeria, it's not a good news at all. But it's a thought for reflection and letting us understand the fact that there's an opportunity here that we can take advantage of. And I'm hoping you have come across this video for you to be able to, maybe you might be able to take advantage of that, or you probably be able to see reason why this should be an investment you should consider in 2025. Thank you very much for joining me again in this video. See you in the next video, and bye for now.